and hello everybody. I'm actually so excited and happy to be here in this space to share with you guys. I actually saw Joanne and Thalia and I'm not sure who else on the last event that happened on the 8th of August. And I was really happy and encouraged to attend that event. So thank you first of all to Stacey and to Inga to invite me into your space and just to share some learnings and experiences that I've had along the way in terms of the power actually of a sisterhood, and why it's so important to consciously and intentionally build out your sisterhood in your life. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can get going. And please let me know once you can see it. So share screen. There. Yep. Can everybody see it?
Yes, we can.
All right. Cool. So I wanted to talk to you this morning about the power of sisterhood. And you ladies even got me putting on mascara this morning because I haven't worn makeup in like forever. But it was actually nice to get done and to actually get done and actually just connect with you guys this morning. So I think because the group is quite small, that we can actually just do a round of introductions. And if you could just say maybe your name, where you're from, and then one thing that you absolutely love about one of the favorite women in your life. And I think I'm just going to start from the top here from what I can see. So Stacey, why don't we actually start with you?
Sure. Okay. So I'm Stacy, and my favorite woman. I think every day kind of changes, and so it's really the woman that I feel most connected to at like a certain period or time in my life. And right now, that person is Inga. And the reason why I say so is because like she has my back 100% all the time, positive vibes, and like she's just like um just like a ray of sunshine to me, to be honest. Yeah.
Awesome. I see next up is Inga.
Are we going to do the thing where we nominate each other, Stacey? No, I think I love what Stacey said I'm Inga, currently in Joburg, but for the weekend I'm in Pretoria. And yeah, I love what Stacey said. I guess like at this moment in time where I find myself, I met Stacey in May only, and we've definitely had like a kindred spirit sort of moment over the last few months. We've come to a place where both of us are very passionate about woman empowerment, but also to have Stacey kind of just having that energy about an energy that I want more of is very refreshing, that we can pull on each other for that. Yeah.
Excellent. That's so beautiful. Pat, I see is next in line.
I are indeed. I just realized I nearly just started talking and I was like, oh, everything is on mute. Sorry. Hi, guys. I am Pat. And gosh, this is always a very difficult question for me because it's like asking me what my favorite song is. You know, I am very deeply embedded in the essence of the whole Ubuntu thing with the women in my life. I'm one of 6 girls, so to be honest, when you first asked the question, the thing that came to mind that my very very best friend is me. Actually, this season I've been on my own for this entire season, pretty much. And I've been quite stunned by how much more I have to drink and pull from exchange with the tight bonds that are the women in my life as a result of being my own best friend. And my biggest champion and all of that. Gosh, if I have to pick a human outside of myself, I would say one of my favorite people, my favorite woman is my niece, actually. She is, she's not complicated, she's untainted. She hasn't, she just shows up and cracks her heart open and is present. It doesn't matter who is there. She's not complicated yet with struggles and trials and things. And so she just shows up and loves and serves and is present and cheerleads and doesn't hold back when she thinks somebody's beautiful and wonderful and all of those things. And it's probably strange to pick, you know, a teenager. But the bond she brings to the family, we're very tightly knitted as girls, you can imagine, 6 of us. So the bond that she brings, she's like cement because of that thing. She just flows in like a natural way there. So yeah, I mean, I'm very privileged to have some phenomenal women in my life, but I don't know, maybe it's a struggle for me to answer that question, but if I have to, I would say me, and then the woman who's inspiring me right now is my niece.
Oh, I love that. I love that about choosing yourself. I think many of us had to kind of just go through that journey where, you know, just of self-love and just kind of being there for ourselves and expanding ourselves in a way that we love ourselves, and when we do that, it kind of spills over to everybody else that we work with. So I love that. Thank you. I think next we've got Joanne.
Hi, so I am in a car, and I think I might have missed the intro and what exactly we're supposed to say, so please excuse me. I am listening with my 2 best friends, Karen and Ramona, and I'm very happy that we can do this together because these girls are my world. I love them. We are very like-minded, and we all for the same. We've got the same passions in life, and we're all for women support and women empowerment. And so I'm very happy to be here with them. And I don't know if that is exactly what I was supposed to say in my intro, but because we are loud, and they kind of distracted me. So, but I'm happy that they're here listening because I was very excited about this morning. And then my cousin is also in the room, but she's struggling to connect. And I think she's having some difficulty hearing us. I really hope that she can hear at some point, because I think it would be really amazing as a first time joiner and skills exchange member to really get and receive what we're about to experience today.
Cool. Thank you so much to Joanne and your friends. Yeah, so special to be able to sit in on this together. I see we have Thalia next.
Hi, I just loved listening to everything that you're sharing and all the other previous ladies. I'd like to just confirm what Pat said about becoming your own best friend. I feel like since I've become my own best friend, I've learned to acknowledge and see women in such a different light. I accept them, I love them, and a woman that comes to mind right at this moment is my mom. We just had the most profound conversation this morning, and we struggled for years to communicate openly with one another. Like, we would go to the extent of sending emails to each other because we couldn't physically stand in the same room and like discuss personal things. And so the journey of me going inward has allowed me to express myself openly, to express and, you know, cut those generational curses and those communication gaps where I can now sit openly and have conversations with her. And I've seen how this relationship has spilled over to my younger sister. And I'm just so grateful to be in this position now to inspire other women to openly communicate, to see each other in such a beautiful way that, you know, we don't have to be afraid of competing with one another or being the best in the room, that we can just hold each other up to this high standard that we hold ourselves accountable to. And now we can do that for other women in our circles. So I'm just so grateful to be in this space and all that skills exchange is doing at the moment, because for me, I see that and I love it and I breathe it every day. And it just becomes so much easier to spill that over into other relationships around me. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's awesome, beautiful, and I love it about communication. I was having a very deep conversation with a friend of mine last weekend, where we were talking about, you know, like all the challenges maybe we went through as kids and not communicating, and, you know, between parents and all of that. So it's such a special thing to be able to express yourself and to share with your parents in these day and age. So yeah, very beautiful. And Sloan's up next. Oh, you on mute, Sloan? I can't hear Sloan. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I can't hear you still, Sloan.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry guys, I had to get earphones real quick. Hi everyone, I'm Sloan. I think the question was like, what women are in like our favorite women right now? Oh,
Yeah,
just
just your name, where you're from, and one favorite thing about, you know, one of the women in your life.
oh, okay, cool. So I'm from Cape Town. Hi everyone. I live in I'm at home right now. My favorite woman at the moment is like all the women in my family. Like I have a very matriarchal family. Yeah, the women keep it together, hey. So all my aunties and my mom, they're all like cooking and like making stuff this weekend because it's my birthday tomorrow, and it's just so special, and like the way they just get it done always inspires me. So that's who my favorite women are at the moment.
Cool, thank you, and happy birthday to tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we've just got Natasha and Mel left. Natasha, are you ready to go? It doesn't look like Natasha has sound on though.
Yeah, she's struggling to connect. I've been trying to
Okay,
help her.
okay, let's go on to Mel Salong.
Okay.
Hello guys, can you hear me?
Hi.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. I'm Maul. I'm from Cape Town. I'm at home at the moment with the baby on my boobie. I think my favorite woman would be my daughter. I have a lot of friends and I get a lot of different things from each of my friends, and couldn't do life without them. That's Max saying hello. And I think, yeah, my favorite person is my daughter, because like Pat was saying about her niece, you know, she's not affected yet by all the things she's supposed to be. She's just unapologetically herself. She's got a fiery personality. She's got a big heart. She is a mirror to me of my good traits, my bad traits. And she just keeps me accountable, you know, to be the example that I need to be to her, and to just keep modeling to her what I want her to be, because obviously I want her to reach her full potential in a way that's like surpasses me. And yeah, I just love her, you know. She's my heart.
Oh, I think that's so special. And now hello to Max. Did you say it was Max? But yeah,
Yes,
hello.
it's Max.
Yes, hello to your baby boy there as well. Awesome. So thanks, ladies. I think let's jump into it. And I think before we go further on, Inga, have you had a chance to share the worksheet with everyone yet?
Yeah, so I've popped it into the chat. The file should be there and should be easy to download. It's a Word document.
Okay, ladies, so you can access the work document, and we're just gonna, it's a space really to make notes as we go along. I think in the next 20 to 30 minutes that I wanted to take you through. But first I wanted to maybe share a little bit about my sisterhood story. So um, I've also been blessed to have so many amazing women who have been my friends, who have contributed to my journey, and who've been my support. Um, and I've also built up a sisterhood network around myself over the past couple of years. But I also know what it is to experience breakups and heartbreak, heartbreak from losing friends in my life. And there were two distinct friends in my life at different points where, and my first friend was, one that I'd met at high school, and we were very best friends for like 13 years. And another one who had also met along the way, but these were women that I thought would be in my life forever. But I think as I changed and as I evolved and also elevated myself, um, they made decisions to kind of leave my life. And at the time, when I was younger, it was an extremely painful thing to go through. Whereas, obviously now in hindsight, I realize that, your every different level of your life will demand a different level of yourself and also the people that you surround yourself with. So now looking back, I kind of honor the time that we have together. And I also want you to know before I continue with this presentation that I know what it is like to be let down by other women. I know what it is like to have a partner cheat on you with another woman. And I also know what it is like to feel jealousy or envy and so forth, because it is a natural human emotion. So I'm very much human, and I want us to, as we approach this concept or this construct of sisterhood, to not do so from a place of naivety, but to do so from a place of conscious awareness. So before we continue, I wanted us to take stock about like where we are right now, and let's think about what are the common beliefs about sisterhood or female friendships. What are your beliefs about sisterhood and friendships? And in the first part of your worksheet, there's a place just to jot it down, and maybe let's just take 2 minutes to jot down what are the current beliefs about sisterhood, and they can be negative and they can also be positive. So yeah, let's take a minute or two to just quickly, jot down our thinking around that. And if you're done, I'm going to invite like someone to just share um, a negative and a positive belief about sisterhood, like any volunteers that would like to just openly share their thoughts.
So I don't have the worksheet because I don't have access to it from my phone, I think. But if I could quickly share, I think a negative could be that there could be competition without you realizing within a sisterhood. And it might only come to surface when certain things happen, when your friends progress and you are at a different stage of your life. And so that's where competition could come in. But at the same time, if you are genuinely happy and you're sincere in your friendship, you can celebrate your friends. And I think that's the joy about sisterhood. In my friendship, we are brutally honest with one another. And when I say brutally honest, we are very honest. And if we disagree with something that you've done, you're going to know that we don't agree with you. But it doesn't mean we don't support you. We are each other's safety net. And so that's the beauty about sisterhood, is that you honesty is very, very important. So you have to let people know that you don't necessarily agree, but because I don't agree doesn't mean I don't support you. And that is a positive that I experience in all my friendships. I'm a very, very honest person. I'm very transparent. You'll know where that positive is that you can, it's very important to just be honest, happy, and just, loving each other. And I think, that's my.
Cool. Thanks, Joanne. Is there anybody else that would like to share?
Are we just sharing the just negative or positive or either?
About just a negative and a positive one.
Okay, I'll just share maybe one of each, just off the top of my head. I would say that over the years, what you said just resonated with me about relationships having to evolve. And I think for me, the key factor there, and I imagine actually for every one of the women in this group, was one of the main reasons why some of my relationships had to evolve was that unintentionally, maybe women have a tendency of needing other women around them they don't want you to be too much less than them, but they want you to be just a little bit less than them. It's that power struggle thing. When you support each other to a limit and you don't realize that you are supporting each other subconsciously to a limit, but then somebody really excels, or they get a lot of favor, or they get a big breakthrough in an area that you've really been wanting, and then somehow that has put a lot of pressure on friendships. And I think it's a subconscious, subtle thing that I've seen most women have to wrestle with. I think that it's a negative thing, especially if we don't acknowledge that. If our belief systems are that you being better means that I am less, I've found that that's a very big thing that can be, it is the game changer that ends up breaking the relationships. I think eventually, because eventually when you're the person who feels like I have to stay small and keep my lights dim so I don't offend you and don't make you feel like I don't love you, eventually your own personal growth goes, I can't stay here doing that. I have to progress. I have to become all that I'm created to be. And I'm sorry if you need me to be just a little bit less than you in order for me to accomplish what I have to accomplish. I would say that's the first negative one. My favorite positive thing about sisterhood and female friendships is the resourcefulness of women is unbelievable. Women, I'm talking when women have absolutely nothing and when they're in an abundant space, women have an incredibly beautiful way of coming up with creative solutions for when you're down or when you're broken or when you can't or whatever it might be. The resourcefulness of women to feed each other, to cover each other, to clothe each other, to really, really support each other and each other's families is one of the most beautiful things.
Fantastic, Pat. And I think that's a lovely, segue into this next slide, which is about sacred sisterhood. And what I'd like to invite you guys to entertain is that sisterhood is really sacred. And I particularly believe this because there are divine, interventions that can only be unlocked through the combined effort of women. I believe that sisterhood is not all female friendships, because there are women out there who hate on each other and so forth, or maybe haven't even grasped the concept of sisterhood like we've shared, this morning. But sacred sisterhood is something that is very special, and it's something that's intentionally and consciously built. And when women come together, we are extremely, extremely powerful. When we respect each other and when we work together, we can literally move mountains. We can raise healthy families. We build up communities. We contribute to the economic growth and prosperity of our countries. And ultimately, we always shift and change things for the better. And so a sacred sisterhood is one that also elevates you to a whole new way of being, and being surrounded by women who power you up, who encourage you. It really is a safe space for you to become the best version of yourself. And so, as I talk about sisterhood power today, there are literally a gazillion benefits towards, sisterhood and women coming together. But there are three main things that I want to focus on this morning. Is to talk about how sisterhood power is inspiring, sisterhood power is healing for us, and sisterhood power is a force to be reckoned with. And so when we look into the sisterhood is inspiring, when you grow and evolve and you actually help other women to realize that it's also okay for them to evolve and level up. And one of my biggest experiences around this was back in 2011, where um, I had lost two of my best friends, and I've always been a big believer in women uplifting each other, helping each other, opening doors for each other. And I often saw this in the boys' club, back in the days, back then, of how, men would support each other, especially those coming from your boarding schools and so forth. And I always thought, what, wouldn't it be great to have women do the same thing? And on top of that, being the natural nurturers and empowerers that we are as women, how about us connecting and also making a difference in society? And so it was back in 2011 when I actually brought together 12 women in my network. Now, they weren't necessarily my friends, but they were women um, that I had met at different stages of my path. So high school, college, work, and so forth. But the one common denominator that we all had was just the value of making a difference, the value of uplifting others, and working together and having the sisterhood type of ethos. And I invited them over to my house, and we kind of had a tea party in my back garden. And over there, I kind of launched the concept of us coming together as women to use the privileges that we had gained, because we had all come from underprivileged, backgrounds, but we had all received a helping hand in life. So, for example, some of us had received um, bursaries, scholarships, mentorships, stuff like that that really help us, move along our education and our careers quickly. And we wanted to use that to inspire the next generation of girls. And what came out of that was really the birth of Dream Girls Academy, which is a female empowerment organization where we believe in empowering young women to rise. But what happened in the process of us starting that, and us purely, our intention was so pure of wanting to make a difference to other women and to other girls, that we started exposing them to different speakers, different coaches, and so forth, that one by one we all started like elevating and growing and moving into a different realm in our lives. And in that space of time, in that sisterhood that we had created, we saw, you know, young women getting promotions, women finally getting the courage to step out and start their businesses. We saw girls, you know, having the confidence actually to even apply for a bursary, because many of the girls even lack the confidence to actually believe that I'm the first in my family that could possibly go to university. But what we started seeing is just this ripple on effect of everybody just kind of all, you know, taking it higher, all being inspired by each other, all encouraging other, and being able to tap in to each other and ask for advice and open doors for each other. And that's the thing. So when we are growing and evolving and changing and sharing our experience, other women, and you might not realize it at the time, but other women are also looking at you to say, hey, you know what, I've been sitting with this dream in my heart for so long, and shoot, she did it, that maybe I can also do it. Maybe I can reach out to her and ask her to help me. And that is one of the first benefits that we have, of being inspired by a group of women where we can constantly, you know, edge each other along. Now, secondly, what I've also found is that, and Pat, you spoke about this very briefly, and I've experienced this myself as well, um, where sometimes we are caught up in comparison, comparing ourselves to others. And sometimes what we don't realize in that moment is that our journey is completely unique, our timeline is unique, and our development is unique to us. And so often when we are down and out in a mental or an emotional rut and nothing is going our way, and everything seems to be flowing for, you know, the next person, it can be easy to compare yourself, to be down and out, and to feel jealous. And what I'd like to encourage us to do here is to actually to turn your comparison or feelings of jealousy and so forth into admiration and motivation. Um, and I know that sometimes we are in a space where maybe we don't have all the right tools to pull ourselves out of where we are at, but it's important to continuously feeding ourselves with, work, readings, learnings, people who motivate and inspire us, because eventually it will all build up and help us kind of move on with our lives. The very important thing to acknowledge is that when you do experience jealousy, is not to feel shame or not to feel guilt about feeling jealous. You know, the key thing is to actually acknowledge that you feel that, because it is a human emotion, and interrogate that within yourself and ask yourself, okay, why am I feeling jealous? Um, what can I do to shift this jealousy out of my system? Or what can I do to shift this, you know, um, in my mind? Or how can I shift this to motivate myself? Because often when we feel jealous over someone else, we can be very unaware of it, and it's a very subconscious thing to say, like, okay, well, yeah, like nothing's happening for me, but everything is happening for her. But actually, when you ask yourself and you interrogate yourself, you say, okay, why am I feeling jealous? I'm feeling jealous because um, I also have a dream that I've never acted on. So now you can ask yourself, okay, what is one simple step that you can do to act out on your dream? You know, and so you can come up with strategies and your own plan to get yourself out of that rut, instead of just sitting with that feeling inside of you. Another way that you can also deal with, you know, feelings of comparison and jealousy is to learn how to physically burn it out of your system. And this is really a concept that I learned very recently, because often we only focus on our mental capacity, you know, what we're thinking and so forth. But human emotions and so forth is also stored in our body, like unforgiveness, jealousy, and so forth can also be stored in our body and the way that we hold ourselves. So it was also important for you to identify ways to actually shift it out of your body as well. And so this can come through, exercising, running it off, dancing it off. Dancing it off is actually a way that, I burn out negative emotions out of my system whenever I'm feeling any type of negative emotion that is slowing me down. Um, anger, unforgiveness, resentment. I dance it out and I release it. I move my body so that it can shift out of my body. And I also do the mental interrogation with myself to understand where is it coming from and what power do I have within myself to be able to change and shift that out of my system. And then um, there's a lovely concept of a female role modeling. And, for the longest time on my journey, it was very hard for me to find um, a female that was doing exactly what I wanted to do or, in a way that I could resonate with. But I have been privileged to have awesome, awesome mentors and coaches along the way. Now, in what I call neuro-linguistic programming, and they call it NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and I'm actually an NLP coach. We have this concept called role modeling. And this is really where you take someone that you really admire, and they don't have to be someone in your circle. It could be someone that you see overseas, or someone you just really, really admire and you resonate with their style. And you start identifying those success habits in that person, because as you're following them, whether you're following them on Instagram or Facebook and so forth, you start jotting down what makes them successful. And then you can actually take yourself through a visualization exercise where you envision this female and you kind of envision dropping down into her body and try to imagine what she would say, what she would do, what advice would she give you. And you kind of come back and you take that advice and you start implementing it. So with female role modeling, I just recently found someone that I absolutely adore, is to actually follow them, listen to their videos on YouTube, read their writings, if they've got a book, and immerse yourself in that. And it's not a means of copying, but it's just a means of developing the habits that you admire and you seek in others until it becomes natural within yourself as well. And that we can also get from our sisterhood network, and learning different things from each other, because already in this small group, I can see that we all have different skills, different qualities that we admire in each other. So let's tap into each other and learn from each other and embody all of those so that we become, better all together. So now moving on to how sisterhood is healing, and this is a really big one for me, because in the last skills exchange workshop that I attended on the 8th of August, there were moments of vulnerability, which really is everything, ladies, because I think when you are in a space to share something that you've gone through or something that you've experienced, you create a space for other women to also come forward and, first of all, not feel like she's the only person on the planet going through that, because often we go through things and we don't speak about it. And, we think that, oh my goodness, I'm the only one going through this. I've got nobody to talk to. And when we keep things in, we mask it with shame and guilt and resentment, and all of those negative emotions can stunt our growth and stunt our development, right? So the power of sisterhood, it really gives you a space for vulnerability, a space to kind of share what we are going through, maybe as mothers, as girlfriends, as wives, as friends, even stepping out of your normal circles that you operate in, and to be able to come to a space like this and share what you are actually going through, and to be able to say, what, actually I'm having a really tough time, or I'm feeling really depressed, and to be surrounded then by women who can really surround you and, support you and back you up, because that's what we do really well as women. In the space of being of the power of vulnerability, it's also not only about speaking about, the weaknesses or the challenges that you're going through, but it is also a space to be completely unapologetic about what you want, and to give yourself permission to want what you want, and to say that it is okay if you believe that, listen, I want to have it all. It's okay to say that I want to have it all, because you're also helping other women to step up into that power. It's okay to say that, listen, I want to be financially free. I want to work my own hours. I want a partner that adores me and uplifts me. um, I want to have great health. All the things that are good out there, it's okay to also claim those things for yourself, and also create that space of vulnerability for other women to to claim that for themselves as well. Now, next, when we think about um, the healing that happens within in sisterhoods, it is also a space to heal your emotional wounds. And you know that everybody that you have in your life is a mirror that is reflecting a part of yourself back to yourself. And so when you are identifying maybe something negative within your partner, within another woman, within another sister, realize that you call out things that are in yourself as well. So, for example, if you think that another woman is very cattish or she's very bitchy, ask yourself, where have I been cattish? Where have I been bitchy? And I can guarantee you that if you seek deep within yourself enough, that you will find that part within yourself as well. And so those people who are mirrors to you, and reflect all the shadows in you, they're actually giving you an opportunity to identify the parts of yourself that needs healing. So it is a very important space for you to be able to heal your emotional wounds, and for us to look at each other as mirrors, um, and um, and to be able to take that and to say, and if you walk away from an experience like this thinking, being judgmental or looking down on someone else, it's a space, that you are looking down on someone else because maybe someone else looked down on you when you were a child. So it is a space for us to be mirrors to each other, and it's a space for us um, to focus on our healing, to share what we're going through, to um, grow together in that way. And then I think it was Joanne who spoke about this, about having candid, honest conversations and forgiveness. And as I shared with you ladies, when I had started Dream Girls Academy, um, most of the ladies weren't my friends. And the two ladies who were my friends that actually I invited to come on board, eventually they weren't my friends. But throughout these past 9 years, where we have worked together and so forth, we actually realized that our relationship, our friendship, our business relationship is almost like a relationship that you would have with your partner, right? A good, solid one that you would have. So that if someone hurts the other one, to be able to have that candid conversation and express it to someone. If you don't agree with your sister, to say, listen, I don't agree with you, but I can support you in these ways. And I think too often as women, um, we avoid conflict, or we want to, we'll rather just keep silent or move away from the women in our life, as opposed to like coming together in a loving and a safe space to say to each other, listen, I'm not here to attack you. I want to have this conversation with you because I value you and because I still want you in my life. But, these three things have hurt me, or these three things has changed my view, or so forth. But it is so important that in sisterhood, that in sacred sisterhood, that we are able to have candid conversations with each other and that we are able to forgive. Because forgiveness or unforgiveness or grudges or resentments that we hold in our heart, once again, it actually hinders you from receiving more abundance, receiving more opportunities, and so forth in your life. So the more you kind of release it, the more you can have a conversation with your sisters, the better of a relationship, more solid relationship, a more real relationship that you connect with, the woman in your life. And the more you free yourself to receive more blessings in your own life. And then lastly, ladies, is to look at sisterhood as a force to be reckoned with. And I know that everybody sitting in this room today, we know that when women come together, we shift, we change things, and we make things happen. And I think very first, just in celebration of Women's Day in this month, and we know of the women who came together, black, white, Indian, colored, here in South Africa in 1956 to go and march to the parliament buildings, to have their voices heard and to make a difference. And you know that when you strike a woman, you strike a rock, because by nature, by our history and generations, we've had to be the cornerstones of our family. We've had to be strong. And although it's not always easy to be strong, and it's okay to also sometimes say that, listen, I'm not feeling strong right now, we know that when we stand together, we are stronger, and that we are able to go through so much more. Now, also, when women are educated and when we are empowered, we build up entire communities. And there's been so much research around this, also particularly in a corporate setting where the top performing companies in this world um, have diverse boards. They have women on their boards. And why is that? It's because when women make decisions, they are thinking of everybody. They're not just thinking about profit, they're thinking about the people, they're thinking about what is the impact going to have on future generations. They're very holistic in their thinking. They're good at building relationships, and they're good at thinking things through. So we have a very powerful role to play as women who have received education and empowerment in our life. And as I said, the top performing companies in this world have diversity and women on those boards. So I am aware that we are running out of time, and I just actually wanted to challenge you now. I know that you are all part of this amazing network and sisterhood, but I wanted to maybe think of 3 new commitments that you will make in terms of sisterhood and building out your sisterhood. And this could be, committing to be a part of a platform like this. This could be, committing to educate your other friends or your younger, women in your circle about sisterhood. It could even be to reach out to some other woman that you admire and to say, hey, will you have coffee with me? Um, but for you to think about, 3 new things that you will add in and do differently in your sisterhood circle. And you can do that in your own time in the worksheet. Because just as we end off and as I close off today, guys, I want to invite you to, if you can, please just take a minute to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out. And take another deep breath in and out. And just one more breath in and out. And I'd like you to repeat these words after me. You can say it in your mind to yourself, or you can say it out loud, whatever is easiest for you, whatever you feel called to do this morning. And so I want to read you the sisterhood commitment. And it says, I am my sister. My sister is me. As a woman, I am committed to the well-being of my sisters near and far. I will play my parts. I will use whatever influence I have to champion her value, her worth, and her contribution to life. I will always present myself like a lady by exuding confidence, walking with my head held high, showing other women respect, and refusing to participate in any demeaning behavior. I will speak with integrity. I will say only what I mean. I will avoid the word to speak against myself or to gossip against others. I will use the power of my word in the direction of truth and love. I will embrace my womanhood and femininity wholeheartedly. I will accept that it is okay to be strong and sensitive, gentle and nurturing, beautiful and powerful. I celebrate my sister's victories. I pick my sister up when she is down. It is safe for me to love my sisters and to be loved by them. I am my sister is me, and so it is. Thank you very much, ladies, for having me here today. Thank you so much for allowing me into your space. And please, let's stay connected. You can find me on Instagram at Ezlyn Olivia, on LinkedIn, and on my website, ezlynolivia.com. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ez. Oh my God, that was amazing. I just love that commitment. It speaks to so many things, and your workshop today was fantastic. I think it's nice to have like this reminder about how we should interact and support one another and kind of just look for that role model and don't be shy. Inga does an amazing job by like approaching women that she's inspired by, and like a side conversation that we were having now is like I finally bought the guts to send Susie a message on Thursday, like having her WhatsApp like this whole time and not even telling her about skills exchange and you know how she inspired me to create this network for us women. And like something happened with a conversation with myself and Sugar on Thursday where I was just like, you know what? I was able to do that interview on Heart FM. Why can't I just message Josie and just let her know, like, you know, she inspired me. And so I finally did it. Like I sent a WhatsApp. She hasn't replied, but I'm happy that I did it. So good. I just loved the message that you sent out today. And I hope the rest of the ladies feel the same way. I'm sure they do. Thanks so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions? Because nobody popped anything, but like some of the comments. Oh my God, from Pat, this was absolute gold. Thalia said that was so powerful. I felt that in my body so profoundly. Sloan said thank you. Mal said thank you. But yeah, it was good. It's just like these constant reminders that you need, you know, because sometimes you can like get sucked into the negativity of things. And yeah, I really appreciated your message today. Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey, and thank you everyone for having me.